Welcome back to Laugh or Go Crazy. Michelle and I are here. Another exciting night. And Michelle, love is never past tense. Did you know
Love is never past tense. That's right. We have a very special guest with us tonight. Her name is Janna Yeshanova, and she's the founder of LifeSpark. She is a powerful life coach and a trainer, and she was originally from the Soviet Union, and she came here to the United States when times were really difficult there with her mother, her daughter, and $126 in her pocket. So we are very excited to hear Janna's story and her adventure, and to hear about what she's doing now and all of the exciting things and how she's helping so many people and all of her growth, through this journey. So, Janna, how are you tonight?
Excellent. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Steve.
Hi, how are you? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm here.
So, Janna, we're really excited to hear your story. You have a lot of information on your social media. So we were reading all about you, but I was really looking forward to hearing your story right from you.
So what should I tell you first?
Start off with your journey to the United States.
My journey to the United States. So I lived in a country that was the Soviet Union. Loved my country like all kids who grew up there. And suddenly the country started falling apart. And I was lucky that I managed with this $126 that you mentioned, leave this place. The reason that I had only $126 is because the government did not exchange anymore. So you go or you stay. It was, the Soviet Union collapsed and the country doesn't exist anymore. So when people ask me where I am from, sometimes I'm saying that I'm from Haynesville, Alabama. The country where I grew up does not exist. Let me think where I can start, because I still didn't start it. So it was very difficult to leave the country. No money, almost no language, no people whom you know outside of the country, because the country was pretty close. You could travel within the country, but not outside.
Now, if I could just jump in, how did you arrive? Did you take a boat over? What did you do?
It was a huge stream of immigrants.
Oh.
At that time, I think it was in 87 or 86, this information is in Wikipedia, 250,000 Jewish people gathered in front of White House and demanded that Gorbachev allowed us to leave. So people who were able to manage, they left. And we came through Europe. We were half a year. We were wandering in Europe. I think it was 4 months in Austria and 2 months in Italy. And then we crossed the ocean. So we arrived here in 1990. So I'm here almost 26 years. New culture, new place, new everything. So I had to go to graduate school again. Had to learn a lot.
Now, how old was your daughter at the time?
12.
Oh, she was 12. Okay. So it took you a good 6 months to finally arrive in the United States?
Yes, 6 months. I'm still arriving. You're
still arriving, huh? Okay, and you said you've been here now for 26 years.
Yes.
Wow. And does your book connect to your... Well, it does, right? Your book connects to your story.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. I couldn't miss this piece. It's a huge piece, and I think this is chapter So chapter it is called Exodus. And all the reviews on Amazon on Love is Never Past Tense are mentioning this chapter because it's very, very impressive. And I think when I decided to become a life coach, I thought if I could make that $126, everybody can make it.
Right, absolutely. I mean, that must have been scary for you.
I cannot say. I don't think it was scary. I didn't have fear at that time. It seems I didn't have any choice. So when you don't have a choice, you make a big choice. And for me, it was easier to make that choice to leave the country than to choose a purse. For me, big choices are easier to make than smaller ones.
Right, and I guess if when you don't have a choice, things you're not quite as scared because this is just what you have to do.
Okay.
So So when you came to the United States, how did you start out?
How did I start out? So my daughter went to school. It was in Dayton, Ohio, and I was so lucky. Someone recommended me to NCR. Do you remember National Cash Register Company? They built all these green machines. So at that time, they were penetrating Russian market. And I was consulting them on Russian culture and Russian language. It was a consulting job, but then I found the full-time job, $7 an hour. And I went to graduate school, got the second master in applied behavioral science. And then somehow I got involved into conflict resolution and got certified as a mediator and was invited by Antioch University. If you know, in Yellow Springs here in Ohio, there is Antioch University. And I was teaching there conflict resolution. And then just the stream took me somewhere to the book. I don't know how it takes me in all directions. But I'm accomplishing one goal, and here I have another one.
Right. So tell us about your book.
To tell you about my book, sure, with great pleasure. Love is Never Past Tense. How do you like the name?
Oh, I love the name. It makes you think.
Thank you. So it's a hot summer romance, leads to a hasty marriage, a quick divorce, and years of struggling to survive the fall of the Soviet Union until the lovers find each other again from the opposite sides of the ocean. The book, people think that the book is pretty exciting. I'm afraid to go ahead and tell you the story, but there are very many interesting moments, and many who are reading it are saying that the book reminds them of Dr. Zhivago, but Dr. Zhivago describes the love, what the big love is there. Dr. Zhivago describes the events in the Soviet Union at the beginning of the century, and love is never past tense at the end of, not at the beginning of the century, at the beginning of the Soviet era. And love is never past tense at the end.
Right. Now, Sergei is the romantic love, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Are you still with Sergei? You're married to him.
If I tell you, nobody will buy the book.
Oh my goodness! It's like a cliffhanger. You're keeping us waiting. Look at you. So I see you and Sergei have this love affair, and obviously it's got the twists and turns and the ups and downs. Michelle and I put out a show recently called Roller Coaster, and I don't know if you heard that, Janna, but. It just celebrates all the ups and downs of life, and how that, the merry-go-round is a very sort of tranquil ride. It's not an exciting ride. There's no thrill. There's no, screams. But what's great about the roller coaster is it gets your heart going. And sometimes it's not good for you. And sometimes it's great. And it's passion and it's love and it's, and sometimes it ends too quickly. And that's okay, because some people would rather have a roller coaster relationship than a merry-go-round one. Do you know the merry-go-round? It's like a carousel that kind of goes slowly round and round. So how would you describe your relationship with Sergey? Would it be more the merry-go-round or the roller coaster, John?
Roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. It's a very passionate story, and if you start flipping the pages, you will realize it. Your eyes can't let it go.
Right, I can't wait. Now, but you have to give us a little tease. I mean, people, in order for them to run out and get your book, you're going to have to give them a little bit of a tease. Right, Michelle?
Okay. Yeah, we have to have something to
We're
go
going to
on.
need, listen, for you to get me in my car to get down, wherever I got to go, I need a little tease. So you're going to have to give the Laugh or Go Crazy an exclusive little hint about you and Sergey.
Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. And can you believe it? I don't have a book near me. Okay, I will give you one sentence that I really love in this book. Let me think about it. How could he possibly know that she, a complete stranger, will be with him forever, whether she was at his side or not? Did I get you?
Oh, you're getting me.
Wow.
Look at you. I'm falling in love.
Great, Michelle.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Now, I almost feel that this could be a movie.
It is. One of the screenplay writers, Walter Cohen, read the book, fell in love with it, and now the screenplay is traveling around Hollywood.
Oh, so the screenplay is traveling around Hollywood.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You and Sergey, the escape from the Soviet Union, the trek across the Atlantic to the United States, this passionate love affair that we're not even sure still exists. And the theme of this is love is never past tense. So, there's still a flame here. I'm feeling as though, whether you and Sergey are still together or not, there's a torch being held for you, right?
You are right.
Right? Am I getting the sense that this is still a torch?
Absolutely.
Right.
I think Sergey's in the other room.
In fact, I'm Sergey.
Okay, guys, I will give you a hint. It's a second chance romance.
Okay.
Good.
The book is the second chance romance.
The second chance romance. Okay. So
Yeah,
there we have it.
I believe in second chances. And, it's funny. I have a friend that you would love. Okay, Janna?
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, I talk about her often. She was born in Miami, but she's from, her parents are from, I think it's Cuba. And her mother married her father 3 times.
Okay.
Wow.
3 times. So
I
that
don't even know this story.
Yeah. So, well, I break it out for the guests. And so she is a very passionate lover. And she said, my mother was a very passionate lover. And, we love strong, we fight strong, we break up strong, and then we reunite. And so Maria's mother and father, I said the name, that's okay. They have been married 3 times. And so that is love that is never past tense. I mean, right, Janna?
Yeah.
It is, it's not surprising for me.
So, I almost feel as though, Americans, because, a lot of times Americans, once we break up, we break up. You have to choose a side. In fact, the show we're going to put out next week, it talks all about choosing sides when you break up. And, if you have a friend who's, divorcing or breaking up, usually you gravitate towards one or the other. And, you never see each other again. But I almost feel as though, holding a torch, and, love never dies. Love never dies. It might not be appropriate for you, but you really hold a candle inside of you for those special someones. I believe, anyway. And, I know Michelle probably has a little candle inside of her for somebody who, didn't work out, but, was special.
But isn't it normal if you spend with someone some period of your life, this person becomes a mosaic of your life. It becomes a part of you.
It does. They do.
So when you cross him or her out completely, I don't think love dies.
No, love does not die.
I agree with that. I think that when you truly love someone, like you really loved them, and not like a superficial love or like a young love, like real love, I think that it does stay with you, even if, it's not, an active type love. You know what I mean? I agree with that.
Correct. It's like entity within you, love, right. And it tributes to a bigger love that you have in yourself.
No, I agree.
Right.
I agree.
Now, I'm wondering, I can't wait to read your book now, because I'm wondering if, the book starts out where there's this whirlwind like love affair, and then you marry quickly and it doesn't work out.
Correct.
But I'm sure there are reasons that relationship didn't work out. And now when you rekindle, after time, I'm wondering if, because things work out this time. You know what I mean?
It's all there.
It's all there.
Yeah, I wonder.
Okay.
And, Janna, if you could give advice, love advice.
Yes.
What would be your top 3 pieces of advice for our listeners? Anything on the topic of love, passion, whatever.
Love advice. Is it possible to give love advice, Steve?
I think it is. I think it's possible to give people, because people, are too quick to end.
We've talked about that before, Steve.
About
it's like we live in a society where if your relationship isn't working out, you get divorced right away.
Yeah, there's
if
people
it's not working out. Marriages have ups and downs. There is no marriage that's always up. So, and sometimes you're down for a while. It doesn't.
I maybe I should rephrase advice, but wisdom.
Okay, it's this wisdom. It's coming right this second. If you want to call it, if we can call it wisdom. So, number 1, love. Exclamation sign. Number 2, treasure it. Mm-hmm. And number 3, try to make it.
Treasure it, love it.
And try to make it.
Try to make it.
Because nothing goes smooth. Nobody is perfect. And if you love someone, you love this person, it's a package.
It's a package.
Right.
Yes.
Right. The good and the good and the not so good. The whole package, right?
Correct.
And you have to accept someone for who they are. Like really accept it, and embrace it, I think.
Correct.
And they have to accept you, by the way, because we're not perfect.
That's very true, because when this person leaves, there is not only empty spot, there is a cavity there, and you cannot fill it up with anything else. It will always be there. This is what I feel.
Right. So you are not only a survivor, but you are a believer in love.
Absolutely. You cannot live without love.
Yeah. And you're not jaded in any way.
Say again?
You're not jaded in any way by your love, ups and downs. I don't know you that well, but I almost feel as though you wear like a badge of honor your love.
Yes.
The ups and downs. You're not embarrassed by love that might not work anymore because there was a reason for it. you're better for it.
Correct.
And
it's a feeling.
And it makes us who we are. I mean, you get a little bit from everyone. And so not only are you a survivor, but you are a deep lover, a passionate lover.
Absolutely. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And you're not afraid. And how is your relationship with your parents?
I still keep the picture of my parents on my Facebook. I do. My dad died when I was young, and I'm still thinking what he would have said if I do this or that. What would be his opinion, really? And my mom was. My mom went through the war. Both of my parents were lawyers. So, but before that, my mom was a nurse. She went to World War II. She carried soldiers out of battlefields from the battlefields, and she was a very, very strong person. She told me such stories about the war that I couldn't even couldn't hear them because I was afraid that I knew that I cannot help her. So I couldn't listen to the stories. And as I said, she was very, very strong. And she went through a lot of difficulties because the whole country went through a lot of difficulties. But my mom put in my mind such a thought. Once here in the United States, it was maybe a couple of weeks before she died, I came to her. And I was not in a good mood, and I told her about it, and I said, and my mom looked at me and she said, Janna, the most beautiful thing in life is life.
Right.
Said, Mom, what if it's so ugly that you don't want to have it anymore? And she looked at me attentively and she said, Janna, the most beautiful thing in life is life. I put it on her tombstone. Another thing she told me that there are no difficulties that you can't overcome. And I can tell you one funny story if you'd like. You asked me what relationship we had.
Yeah, sure.
Trusting relationship.
Trusting.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so she's buried in the Soviet Union.
No, here in the U.S.
Oh, she is. Okay.
So I brought her and my daughter. They came here together with me.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, Michelle.
I know.
This is big. And so, if you had a message for the people out there, what would it be?
The message for the people, what would it be? That probably the dearest possession in life is life, and there is nothing so difficult that you can't overcome in life. If you have a clear goal, if you have a clear vision, there are no obstacles on your way.
That's true. Yeah.
You can do with your life everything you want.
I agree with that. I like that saying. I think that, I don't know, it's just so meaningful. It's powerful, and it's the truth. And, you have to follow your dreams, follow your passion, and, everything is going to be in time what it's going to be. Yeah. And I think that, if you really believe that, everything always turns out the way it's supposed to. Even if while you're going through it, it seems as though, this isn't the plan, this is not what I want to be happening or what I planned on. In the end, whether it's a week, a month, a year, 2 years, you always end up where you're supposed to be. I don't think anything is a mistake in life.
I don't think that anything is a mistake. I think the same way as you do. Michelle. There is all mistakes are learning devices.
Right. It's just sometimes it's even a detour to get you back on the track that you were originally planned to be on anyway. You know, so what seems to be a mistake really maybe seems as though it's a mistake at that moment, but it really isn't, because it brought you somewhere else. And as I get older, I realize that more and more because, when I'm 42 and for the last 20 years, I've had a lot of life, adult life. And I look back and I look at all of the things that have happened to me, and I see that the path was carved, and along the way there were a lot of little detours I took that weren't so comfortable and maybe weren't so pleasant, but I'm where I'm supposed to be now, and that's going to happen again for me in another 20 years, if that makes sense, that you're always just traveling. Yeah. And, it's just good when you have your purpose, when you know what your purpose is, whatever that may be. And for everyone, it's different. Like, Janna, you know your purpose. I think that your purpose is pretty clear to you, it seems, and that's a gift. I think that not everyone knows exactly what their purpose is, and sometimes it takes some time, but we all should.
Yes, when I came here, and as we mentioned already, $126, not knowing anyone, not having a family, hardly knowing English, and coming to the point where I am now, I'm sure that people who have much more than I did should evaluate it, appreciate it, and move forward. Some people think that they are in such trench that there is no exit. They cannot get out of there, but they can.
Yeah. And I think it's also all the way, you handle it and what you do with it. Like you said, I really wasn't ever scared. I didn't have fear. I think fear, really restricts you when you are fearful. Even on the path that you went and the journey that you traveled, you didn't have really time to have fear because you felt as though you had no choice. But not everyone, I'm sure, traveled with that feeling. I'm sure a lot of people will feel fearful. And I think when you have fear like that, it really, enables you to do what you need to do.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Some people are motivated by fear. Some people are prohibited by fear.
Right. And right. For everyone, it's different. Sometimes fear is a motivator, but usually it's more restrictive. So wow. So I'm sure, and I hope that you are really proud of yourself and how far you've come. And now I know that you're helping many others with doing some life coaching and different things. So where can our listeners find you? Like, if you can just present all of your, social media links and different ways to access you and your information.
I am at lifespark.com. It's life-spark.com. And my book is on Amazon, and the website for the book is loveisneverpastthense.com, and there is a YouTube channel, and if someone would plug in Janna Yeshanova in Google, it's easy to find me. So life-spark.com.
And then loveisneverpastthense.com, and that's your book, and everyone can access that on Amazon, or just Google your name.
Yes,
okay.
And Facebook, and I'm welcoming everyone who wants to join.
Yeah, that sounds great. So before we say goodbye, is there one sentence or one thing you want all of us to know moving forward?
One sentence.
It could be a couple, but what is your, what is something that captures you that we could always remember you by?
The same love. The same love. Love is never past tense. Love is so important. Without love, we cannot live. We cannot survive. Just when we open open the eyes in the morning. We should love ourselves. We should love the morning. We should love getting up, taking a shower, going outside, dealing with people. So love is the most important point in my life.
And it's hard to love when you're not present. And so we always say on the show, being present is everything. Because right, Janna?
Yeah, we just had a whole show about loving yourself, right, Steve? Remember? Yeah. Love is everything. That's perfect, Janna, because I think that, I agree with you 100%.
And another thing just came to my mind. Stanford University a while ago conducted a research that indicated that 80% of the time people think negative thoughts. So if they would have thought 80% of the time positive thoughts are materializing. So if people think positive thoughts, everything will be fine and dandy, like Forrest Gump said.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I love that.
I want everyone to think positive thoughts.
Well,
I agree. I'm all for positive.
You are a gem. And, I feel the good energy from you. Right, Michelle?
Yeah, I do as well.
And I think that's going to come through the book. And actually, I'm very excited to find out how you and Sergey end up. He's probably in the bathroom right now, right?
Yeah,
come on.
Just let me know what you think after you read it.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
So, everybody check out Janna's information, and we hope you can check back with the Laugh or Go Crazy show moving forward. And maybe, if this movie thing comes to fruition, Michelle and I are available.
Hey, we could be the leads.
Absolutely. I keep posted.
Keep us posted because, we could, reenact this whole thing on in the movie.
I'm looking forward to it so much. I can see even the actors there. By the way, Natalie Portman's family emigrated from the same place where I emigrated a little bit earlier. So I thought if she would take this role, that would be just wonderful.
Right. I mean, Michelle could be the neighbor.
I'm available. If Natalie Portman is busy, you just let me know.
Exactly. I could be the taxi cab driver. Michelle's the neighbor.
I'll be the sales lady.
Yeah.
Now, we're very excited for you, Janna. Really, really are. And we know that everything is going to work out beautifully. And we can't wait for you to come back and let us know how things are going.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here, guys.
Okay.
It's our pleasure.
And we know you're living your best life, Janna. And thank you for listening and sharing your story with us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And lots of love to you. Lots of love to everybody who is listening to us.
Lots of love to you. And Michelle, lots of love to you.
And lots of love to you, too.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thank
you for listening to Laugh or Go Crazy. If you want more Laugh or Go Crazy, check out our premium subscription. $29 unlocks years of podcasts that we know you'll enjoy.
Visit us at laugh-or-go-crazyshow.com to find everything you need.